Good morning, it's Anand here from Osho, Ireland, and today we're on the 106th meditation technique from the Osho Book of Secrets. 106, gosh. um, I started this in May 2020, and I remember somebody, a really beloved friend of mine, saying, "Oh, that's some commitment. It'll take over 2 years." And here I am over 2 years later. Um, and it doesn't feel like 2 years. Um, it feels very short. So the instructions for this technique is feel the consciousness of each person as your own consciousness. So, leaving aside concern for self, become each being. So this technique that I'm sharing with you today, it's not one that I feel we can do together. I had thought of something, but it's raining, so it's not feasible to shoot outside or film outside live video. My phone will get wet and destroyed. So, and also the instructions that Osho give for this technique. I think this is something that you can do yourself. But what I'm going to do is just share a little of what Osho says about this technique, so that you have a deeper understanding of it, because it's a deep one for me anyway. And it's one that I feel a lot of fear around, actually, truth be known. Um Feeling the consciousness of each person as your own consciousness. So leaving aside concern for self, become each being. There's something very much about merging into another that I find quite scary. Um, And I found it helpful when Osho shared why we feel like that, or why we may experience that fear. So, what Osho says is you feel your consciousness as yours, and others' consciousness you never feel. At the most, you infer that others are also conscious. You infer because you think that because you are conscious, other beings like you must be conscious. And I like what Osho shares here, because what he's saying to us, and we all experience this, is that we assume or infer that somebody is feeling pain or joy or all the different things that they say that they're feeling. But do we actually step into the other person's consciousness and feel their feeling? And for me, my fear is that when I was a child, I did feel everyone's feelings. I felt their pain, their sorrow, their joy, and I found it very overwhelming. I didn't know how to filter it out, basically, and I couldn't do anything to help people, and I desperately wanted to help people. Um, and I still do. And it doesn't always serve me, because what this technique is saying, feel the consciousness of each person as your own consciousness. But the next line is so powerful. So leaving aside concern for self. When I was a child and feeling everyone's pain, so I was empathizing, which is what Osho says about this technique. I also wanted to fix those people. I wanted to save them. I wanted to help them. I wanted to make their life better. And that's where my ego was coming in, because it was Anand the helper, Anand the hero, Anand, fixing things, making things right. That was to gratify my ego. And there was the pain. Osho talks about saying that um, that we actually often treat people as things. And he says, the world around us is not a felt world, it is just inferred logically, rationally. The mind says it is there, but the heart is not touched by it. That is not why we behave with others as if that is why we behave with others as if they are things, not persons. Our relationship with persons is also as it is with things. A husband behaves towards his wife as if she is a thing. He possesses her. The wife possesses the husband just like a thing. If we behaved with others as if they were persons, then we would not try to possess them, because only things can be possessed. A person means freedom. And if you think about how we relate with each other in general, it's about, I want somebody in my life to make me happy. I want somebody to love me. I want somebody to make, to whatever reason that we all want somebody in our life. That's how we possess and treat people like things. And we all do it. Because we put ourselves at the center. And Osho says about this technique, becoming aware of how we infer and treat people as things. But when we start to feel the consciousness of each person as your own consciousness, you can't treat them like a thing anymore. You start to see their inner divinity. You start to see their value. So what you can do in this technique is, if you're afraid to do this with a person first, Osho suggests starting with trees and with nature. So he says, in the beginning it seems impossible because we are so stuck in our own egos. It is difficult to lose it, difficult to become a flow. So it will be good in the beginning you try with something that you are not very scared or afraid of. You will be less afraid of a tree, so it will be easier. Sitting near a tree, just feel the tree and feel that you have become one with it, that there is a flow within you, a communication, a dialogue, a mounting. Osho suggests either doing it with a tree, so sitting and feeling the flow between you and the tree, or feeling a flow between you and the sky, or a river, or any piece of nature. Start with that. Make it easy on yourself. Start with 1 hour a day, Osho says. Sit with the tree. Just read a little bit more where he talks about that. So he says, so start with a river, with a hill, with the stars, with the sky, with trees. Once you come to know the feeling of what happens when you become one with the tree, once you come to know how blissful you become when you have become one with the river, how without losing anything you gain the whole existence, then you can try it with persons. And when you're moving on to doing this with a person, choose someone that you're comfortable with, someone you trust, someone you feel safe with. It could be a friend, it could be a lover, just someone that you, in a trusting, safe environment, 1 hour a day, maybe you want to do that for 7 days, or maybe 1 hour once a week, whatever works for you. Sit with the person and feel the consciousness flow between you, and feel yourselves becoming one. Feel as if they are there, and set yourself aside. Osho says, try it sometimes. Make someone the center. Then his happiness becomes your happiness. His misery becomes your misery. Whatever happens, happens to him and flows to you. But he is the center. So I talked earlier when I was a little girl, and even now, my desire to fix people. That's not me feeling the other's misery. That's me stepping in there, thinking I know more, thinking I can fix them. That's me becoming the center. Instead, make their happiness be your happiness, make their misery be your misery, and just sit with the misery. Feel it. Feel the happiness of the other. Feel all the feelings of the other, whether it's the tree, the river, a person. Feel all the moods. And there, Osho says, something will happen. You will enter into a blissfulness with them, because your ego drops. It's not about you anymore. And finally, for at least 1 hour every day, try to be in empathy with something. In the beginning, you will look foolish to yourself. You will think, what kind of stupidity am I doing? You will look around and you will feel that if someone looks, or someone sees, or someone comes to know, they will think you have gone crazy. But only in the beginning. Once you enter this world of empathy, the whole world will look crazy to you. They are missing so much unnecessarily. Life gives in such abundance, and they are missing it. They are missing because they are closed. They don't allow life to enter into them. So when you allow a tree, a rock, a river, a person to enter into you, this is what Osho's talking about. He says they are missing because they are closed. They don't allow life to enter into them. And life can enter you only if you enter life through many, many ways, through many paths, through multi-dimensions. Be in empathy for at least 1 hour every day. So just in closing, Osho says, leave 1 hour aside every day for a prayerful state of mind. And don't feel your prayer a verbal affair. Make it a feeling thing. Rather than talking with the head, feel it. Go and touch the tree, hug the tree, kiss the tree. Close your eyes and be with the tree as if you are with your beloved. Feel it, and soon you will come to a deep understanding of what it means to put the self aside, of what it means to become the other. I hope you'll try this technique. I'd love to hear, if you're comfortable, what your experience is. And thank you for sitting and listening with me today on this technique. And I hope you will try it at least for 3 days. And if that works, go for 7 and keep building. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.